Okay. How much energy can we use on $1 of energy? We had to figure this problem out. We had to think, okay, which form of energy is the best? We found that electrical energy was the best energy to harvest for a car. The way we thought of this design was to we had a really hard time looking up. Okay, we had to take into consideration every little part of the car, and we were.
Okay, so yeah, basically our challenge was how far can you go on $1 worth of energy? So obviously we chose the most efficient, most abundant, usable energy, which was electrical energy. Because there's some schools doing like diesel and gasoline, but that's not the whole point. The whole point of this is sustainability. So that's how we got our electric vehicle. And basically, our solution to the answer is how far you can go on $1 worth of energy was our race car.
The way our vehicle was designed was to make it as light as possible, less drag, and very stable car. So we made it low to the ground, so when we turned, it would not like flip over.
Yeah, okay, so our frame was designed basically around one driver. There's one seat, and it's only made for one person. Not very comfortable, but it gets the job done. So basically our frame was made out of steel tubing on the bottom, and we extended that with circular tubing that goes to the back of the vehicle. And most of the car is made out of metal. And as you can see, well, actually you can't see it, but a lot of our parts came from the Taylor Gunn vehicles, as like the suspension or steering. That steering wheel came off eBay, but mostly everything on this car was made by the students for the specific purpose of the race. Oh, okay. And one of the really cool parts of this entire race car was the regenerated braking system, which means every time our driver would hit the brakes, it's not only slowing us down, but it's also harnessing that energy and charging up our batteries at the same time. So when we go to accelerate again, our energy is building itself up as we're driving the road.
We use a 48-volt battery system that we were able to last 28 miles with. So that was 38 laps around the car. The track, sorry. We were planning to go 40, but our calculation showed that we can only go 39. But for safety reasons, we went 38. We actually spent only 95 cents out of that dollar of energy. So that means that if we can use this energy by making either the car lighter or putting a different system, then we could easily go 40 laps or more.
Right. And okay, so obviously with an electric vehicle, we're going to have basically zero to none emissions from the car itself, which is also really good at helping our environment. And obviously we all know that fossil fuels and stuff like that, it's not going to be around forever. So we're obviously going to need to start looking for a better source of energy. And we honestly think that electrical cars is the way to go. I mean, there's already companies like Tesla out there doing it, so this was basically our high school version of a race car.
The thing that I really took the most pride out of is that we, the students, thought of this whole design ourselves. We had additional help from instructors and sponsors. They were able to teach us about this design, but we really had to think what would be the most effective in this race. Additionally, the flaws in our designs, we know, okay, we can take this, make it better next year. That's really what helped us think of new ideas and think of what is better for everybody as a whole in the race team.
Right, and this slide was basically for the student creativity of the vehicle, because, well, we bring that up because there was actually quite a bit of different issues that we had to overcome with the car. Like, for one, where the batteries going to go. We obviously placed them lower to the ground because that gives us a lower center of gravity, making our vehicle more stable. And also, we had things like the brake lever, which was just pretty interesting to work with to try and make it fit inside the actual vehicle itself. So we had a bunch of different designs that we could have done with this car, but we did what we did because that's what would fit. That's what was the most efficient way we could put it all into one package. Okay, the communication and collaboration. That's our race team right there, minus a few team members. But basically, we bring this up because almost this entire vehicle that you see right here, that was made all by the students. I mean, we had great teachers like Mr. Ponce and Lakota and all the other teachers that were there helping us out. But the main purpose of this car was to have the students build it, and it was really quite an experience to do that and learn how to actually work on vehicles like this.
Us working on this car would help us for future jobs. So we want to go in the field of maybe, okay, we're going to try to build a car that would save energy, but on a bigger scale. So instead of just being a race car, maybe if we work hard enough, we learn all the mechanics for it. Future companies, like such as Tesla, that's kind of growing a lot right now, will be able to really give our insight into them.
Okay, and one of the main points of this is, what can this car do for us? What can this whole programming process do for the world that we're living in right now? And like I brought up earlier, we can't always be dependent on fossil fuels as we are, because I mean, obviously it hurts our environment, and it's a very limited supply, whereas electricity, I mean, that's so much more abundant and so much easier to come by than gasoline. And it's also much cheaper than gasoline. So obviously it's going to be benefiting the society a lot more than if we were to be driving around in a gas car.
Thank you.